Thank you for the conversation, the executive session. We are now on Tuesday, January 31st. We are in public session. And we're going to start off with approval of the minutes of the president's report. What do you start with?
Minutes.
I have a motion to approve the minutes of October 1st. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. President's report.
So we had a discussion today, talked about the top issues affecting the university right now. Part of the most urgency, they include campus safety and violence that's happening throughout the city of Philadelphia, mental health and wellness, which is affecting our student population. We talked about the resources that are available to them and how we might demystify the stigma that the students are experiencing at this point around seeking mental health support. We talked about the cancel culture that is really highly affecting professors in our university system, particularly those who do not have tenure and are worried and concerned about expressing views that may be considered political and how that may affect their jobs. And then lastly, we talked about the enrollment cliff, the factors that are affecting drops in enrollment at public universities, in particular around the country, the strategy in which we are using to ward off that case here at Temple University.
Thank you. Let's move to governance and nomination committee. Who's going to take that for long?
Bill is
You
not
take
here.
that.
Just that.
Okay.
I
Well,
mean, with your permission, I can read and you can move.
yeah. Why don't you do it?
Item number 2 is nomination to Commonwealth trustee, Dr. Kellen Hodges, having received notice that Dr. Kellen Hodges has been appointed by Governor Tom Wolf, the Board of Trustees at Temple University Governance and Nominating Committee on November 29th, recommends that the Board of Trustees confirm the appointment of Dr. Hodges for a term effective immediately and continuing through October 14th, 2025, as described in agenda reference 2.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Having a person, a move and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Let me just say, Dr. Hodges, welcome. We were excited to have you on our board. If the governor didn't pick you, I would have picked you. So, yeah,
Thank you. I'm really happy to be
great.
Item number 3, Mr. Chairman, is the re-election of a Commonwealth trustee, Senator Patrick Brown. Having received notice that Senator Pat Brown was reappointed by Governor Tom Wolf to the Board Governance and Nominating Committee on November 29th, recommends that the Board of Trustees confirm the reappointment of Senator Brown for a term effective immediately and continuing through October 14th, 2026, described in agenda reference.
Motion?
So
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Is Senator Brown on?
he is not.
Okay.
Item number 4, Mr. Chairman, is a revision to the university bylaws that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the revision to the university bylaws, policy 1.32.00, as described in agenda reference 4. For the board's information, this was actually discussed by the Governance and Nominating Committee, but because it came up impromptu, there was not a recommendation forward. It is, however, recommended by that committee.
Motion?
Move
Have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Academic Affairs, who's doing that?
I think we're in the same situation because
Okay.
Jane is on another call.
Got it.
Item number 5, Mr. Chairman, is the consideration of tenure that the board, upon the recommendations of the Academic Affairs, Student Success and Diversity Committee and the president pursuant to the procedures outlined in the Temple University Faculty Handbook, the collective bargaining agreement between Temple University and the Temple Association of University Professionals regarding the granting of faculty tenure, recommend that the Board of Trustees grant tenure to the faculty on the list on file in the office of the provost.
Have a motion?
Move.
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 6, Mr. Chairman, is academic program actions that the Board of Trustees, upon the recommendation of the Academic Affairs, Student Success and Diversity Committee on December 13th, 2022, authorize the officers to implement the academic program actions as described in agenda reference 6.
Have a motion? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I know that Joe's here, so I'm moving to Finance and Investment Committee.
Thank you. I move that the Board of Trustees, upon the recommendation of the Finance and Investment Committee, authorize the officers to modify the university's investment policies to amend the asset allocation revisions as described in Agenda 7. Do I hear a motion?
Move it.
Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I move with respect to facilities that items 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. I make a motion to approve all of them.
Not 14.
14 is not a motion, but
Yep, through 13.
Through 13, not a motion?
I will. You already made the motion, I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Moving to the treasurer's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I bring one recommendation to the committee, recommendation that the investment report for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2022 be received, said report being included and identified as described in agenda reference 20.
Moved.
We have a second. Having a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving to the secretary's report.
Mr. Chairman, the recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the degrees in course dated on or about May 10th, 2023 to candidates approved by the appropriate academic committees of the faculty, and the degrees in course dated May 10th, 2023 and presented on May 19th, 2023 to candidates approved by the appropriate academic committees of the faculty in Tokyo, Japan. Further, that degrees for the schools of podiatric medicine, dentistry, law, medicine, and pharmacy students who regularly complete their studies in May shall be dated May 10th, 2023, dentistry, May 11th, 2023, pharmacy, May 5th, 2023 for medicine, May 8th, 2022 for podiatric medicine, and May 25th, 2022 for law.
I have a motion and a second.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving to our guest speakers. Professor Witherspoon, before I start, I heard that you were very articulate, and I wish I was able to attend. Is it Celebration of Life or Memorial? What do we call it? Celebration of Life. And I hope there was video so I can have the opportunity to hear some of the dialogue.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if it was video.
It was live streamed and recorded.
Okay.
But thank you very much. I give greetings to the chairman of the Board of Trustees, to all of the trustees assembled here, and to the distinguished guests. I'm going to try to go fast because I know you're tired, but I did write a lot. I'm sorry. We are in spring 2023. Despite some challenges, classes are off to a great start. At a representative faculty senate meeting yesterday, Vice President of Human Resources Sharon Boyle and Heather Woods, Assistant Vice President of Human Resources Operations, talked with faculty and answered questions about the voluntary retirement incentive opportunity that some senior faculty are considering. We were told that the Temple Union TAUP sent out an invitation for more discussion to a little over 120 tenured senior faculty over the age of 65 with over 10 years of service, for a meeting this coming Friday for further discussion and clarification. We will find out about those early retirements later this semester and honor them along with all of our service award recipients at our University Faculty Senate meeting on Tuesday, April 18th. All are invited. We are happy to report that CATA and the Faculty Senate were asked to and recommended faculty to serve on some of our key search committees this year, the Dean Search for Fox, CPH, and CST, which are underway. We want to congratulate former Faculty Senate Steering Committee member Dustin Kidd for his new role as Director of Gen Ed. We want to also congratulate the President and the Provost on their plan to make IDEAL Institute for Diversity, Equity, Advocacy, and Leadership best in class. I visited their new headquarters in Tuttleman Hall on the first floor at the beginning of the semester. Dr. Tafenia Archie gave me a tour of the facility and talked about their increased foot traffic already from faculty, students, and staff. And I understand a soft opening is being planned and more renovations are yet to come, but kudos to everyone. I think this, along with the new centers, the Center for Anti-Racism and the proposed Center for the Future of Work, will continue to set Temple University apart from all others. I want to acknowledge that we have just completed our first year as institutional members of the National Center for Faculty Development and Diversity, or NCFDD. Provost Mandel and Temple University secured an institutional membership for us a year ago this month. And since that time, Temple has had 436 registered users in 2022. Almost half of that number are graduate students taking advantage of all of those opportunities, along with 250 of our faculty. My goal before my tenure as president of Faculty Senate is over is to encourage even more faculty to take advantage of the research and professional development opportunities afforded us as institutional members of that program. COVID is still a factor for all of us, and we are encouraging all of our faculty to stay boosted up. I don't know if we are continuing the reporting protocol, and faculty have asked about that as more and more of our students numbers are going up. But we want to continue to keep everybody, faculty, students, and staff, as safe as possible. Morale has been low at the top of the semester, as many of us have been grieving the sudden passing of Dr. Teresa Powell, Vice President for Student Affairs, gone but not forgotten. But Dr. Wingard invited the Faculty Senate Steering Committee and Faculty Senate Steering Committee chairs to watch the Eagles game at his box several weeks ago. It was my birthday, so I did not attend, but the faculty who were able to attend greatly enjoyed the game and hanging out with Provost Mandel and his wife and Dr. Jeremy Jordan. And to top it all off, the Eagles won. So there's that. The Eagles win on Sunday has significantly boosted morale. It has. People are smiling. They're talking to one another. It's really quite wonderful. And while I understand that they will be honoring Dr. Tina Sloan Green tomorrow here at Temple, we are always so proud and supportive of the Temple Owls, but I think for the next couple of weeks at least, that we will all be shouting, "Go Eagles." And that completes my report.
That was very efficient. Thank you.
Well done.
I've already been up with me. And I can only tell you that 20 years as a trustee, I was in the box for the first time in the Eagles game ever. Didn't even know we had a box. So now the problem that you have when you're in the box and you're the chair is you have to talk to all the prospects. So
It's a
little bit of work.
we recorded the game and watched it later.
Which game?
The Eagles game on Sunday.
Well, at least you didn't have people standing up in front of you. You were in the stadium.
That's true too.
Go again.
But it was nice to be with the alum and potential donors and potential trustees. One day I'm going to learn to say your name, and I will tell you, don't be insulted, because I said to my wife the other day, I'd love to learn a second language, and she said, why don't you learn English first? So.
Thank you. Quattrochi, yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, President Wingard, Provost Mandel. I did want to start today with today's a celebration of life with Dr. Teresa Powell. I once read that when you reflect on memories, you more than the memory itself, you remember the feelings associated with them more than, the specifics of a Thanksgiving dinner. We remember, the feeling of community and family. And so more than I will remember the specific conversations I had with Dr. Powell, I think every student is going to remember the compassion she communicated. It was effortless for her because that was her personality. It was always on her mind, compassion for the students. And so it's a great loss for Temple, but students will always remember how effortlessly she communicated her love for the students. In terms of what the student government has planned for the upcoming semester, we are going to be campus safety is our top priority at this moment. It's a topic that impacts every area of student life, our academic performance, where we live, how involved we are. So I'm very appreciative that President Wingard and Vice President for Public Safety, Jennifer Griffin, are joining TSG for a student-led town, joined us recently and will this upcoming Thursday join us for a student-led town hall regarding the state of public safety on campus to take questions from the student body. In terms of the long-term goals, we want to foster as much participation in all aspects of campus life as possible. So with the student government elections coming up, we want as many students to vote. with the upcoming game against Houston, we want as many students to attend as possible and watch Temple Owls beat Houston again. As we exit COVID, fostering that spirit of community and involvement and participation in all aspects across extracurriculars, across athletics, across campus as a whole is our top priority as well. So I look forward to the upcoming semester. I look forward to the Temple Owls beating Houston and then the Eagles also winning the Super Bowl. So, but with that, that concludes my report.
Thank you. And every time you come in and speak, I realize how proud you make us proud. This is the work we do to create and have people like you graduate from Temple University. So thank you. Do we have any old or new business?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Pat Iding speaking. I'd like to know if there's any kind of an update. I understand there's a collective strike action going on at the present time. Do we see any end to this discussion? I know I had tried to find some help on both sides and wasn't able to get anything back, but it's kind of getting into a point where I think it's not a good thing for Temple or for anybody else involved. Do you have any update at all on the negotiations?
I don't know if you want to talk negotiations.
Well, yeah, we're not gonna get into the negotiations too much in public session. However, I can say that we're continuing to speak with the types of the union at issue. There's a bargaining meeting set for February 8th, where further discussions will be had. And we're gonna keep trying to work for the best possible deal for both sides and get something resolved as efficiently as we can. We understand the concern.
Thank you.
I have a question for Johnny. Would the student wear the Temple is one of the safest area in the city?
Students are obviously concerned, and no matter how safe Temple is, as long as students are victimized, that is going to be a point of deep concern and fear for the students. So while Temple is a very safe school, especially compared to other, other city schools like in University City, anything we can do to address those fears and to communicate what we're doing in terms of campus safety services is critical, because most of the fears regarding campus safety, in my view, stem from a lack of communication. And by communicating with the student body in these forums like the town hall, by putting out these emails, going with comprehensive updates, that is going to go a long way in addressing student concerns. But Philadelphia, any action we take in campus safety can't be done independently. We can't, for lack of a better term, fix public safety at Temple University without fixing it in the city as a whole. Where there's people, there's always going to be crime. But I think communicating the services that exist to protect students and detailing clearly and concisely what Temple University is doing to protect students as much as possible, I think is critical. And I want all students to know, and all parents to know, because I know a lot of parents are watching right now because of the campus safety situation. No one wants students to be unsafe. Everyone wants students to be as safe as possible and as protected as possible. So I think it's important that every student knows that Temple and all offices across campus are working diligently to ensure student safety.
And one thing I want to add, the reason we're an hour late is because in the executive committee, that was a very big priority for us, and safety for our students is the #1 concern we have. And so we are doing everything we possibly can as a university to improve it, to communicate better. Mental health is an issue as well. So it is something that we are really focused on, and hopefully we as a community can figure this out.
Also, personal accountability of the students, where they're renting, their partying habits, doing illegal things, also the student has a responsibility for their own safety. And if the student government could also address that through education, that would be a big help too for the whole safety issue.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, everyone. I know it's been a long day, but it's been, thank you, everybody.